Welcome to our live stream of the Hornets alternate universe. You are looking at the lineups for today's game, Charlotte Hornets against the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. If you are watching the recording of this, patreon.com/LOH is a great way to sign up and contribute a little bit to what we do here with Locked On Hornets. We put a free podcast out every single day, and every dollar that goes into the Patreon account helps to support us in that effort. So if you haven't given to us yet, please consider doing that and enjoy this live stream. The Hornets alternate universe, the Charlotte Hornets, they would have been set to take on the Los Angeles Clippers tonight. Unfortunately, that is not happening, but we can all sit around and enjoy it. And also, I have a special surprise. Nada the Scribe is here with me to get this thing started. Hey, Nada, how's it going?
It's going well. I am enjoying this. I miss you guys. I don't talk to you guys anymore. Y'all don't call me anymore. I feel ignored. But catching a live alternate universe game, very, very awesome.
Well,
very
let's
awesome.
just say you are a very busy man. I mean, I would love to talk to you every day on the show, but you're a busy guy.
Very true. Very true.
But we get together now, and you and I are on the call for this game. It's being played on my Nintendo Switch. You can see on the screen right now that I've got it set to CPU. In the Hornets alternate universe, I have not played any of these games because I'm very bad at NBA 2K, and I didn't want to disrupt the results in any way. This will be a full NBA game, 12 minutes a quarter. And we've been doing this Hornets alternate universe since all of this went down. When the season was suspended, we decided, okay, well, we are going to sim this along. We didn't do it all at once. We said we're going to do this as the days go by and update you on what's been going on with the Hornets alternate universe. And it looks like I'm going to have to make sure to keep this thing awake. That's a Nintendo Switch thing.
Yes, that is. It is very much a Nintendo Switch thing. Very, very much a Nintendo Switch thing.
Yeah, so I've got this little setup here, so everyone's going to have to bear with us as we figure out how to make this happen. There we go. I'm going to get it set back up to CPU. But thanks for joining us. We are going to go ahead and kick this thing off. It is time for tip, and I'm going to get it started. Nada, you have no idea what this Hornets alternate universe is. I just brought you into this thing to do this call. I haven't told you anything about it, and I love that.
Yeah, of course you love it, because you love throwing me in situations where I don't know which way is up. You enjoy that entirely too much, Doug. You do this to me. It's like, you're like, hey, you want to do this Hornets alternate universe thing with me? And I'm like, sure, because of course, it's about me and I like being on mic. So of course I'm going to join you and do this. So, but now I have no idea what's going on. So please tell me what's going on with this.
All right, so this is the Hornets alternate universe. It's something we've done here for a few weeks. We are basically simming the season as we go along. Oh, look at that beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina, when we could go outside. Do you remember that, Nada? You remember that time?
Oh, yeah. 3 years ago when we could actually go outside. Oh, the locker room.
Clippers visiting the Charlotte Hornets here in the Spectrum Center. Coming up next in the Hornets alternate universe. 98.9 the flex. What is that?
I was about to wonder, like 98.9 the flex. Are they hiring or something like
yeah,
that?
really. Where's ESPN 730? Where are my guys at WFNZ?
I don't know, but still, it would just, you would think. Oh, well.
All right, so the Clippers right now, 40. Oh, there you go. You get virtual James Borrego. So let me tell you something, Nada. Virtual James Borrego has completely disregarded my instructions on rotations. He is starting Malik Monk.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he is playing Nick Batum big minutes. He's playing Billy Hernan-Gomez big minutes. Wow. And now it seems like Terry Rozier is going to start this game, and you're going to see Devontae Graham come off the bench. In games past, that's been flipped. Devontae Graham has started at the point guard position, and Terry Rozier has come off the bench. So virtual James Borrego has gone absolutely crazy here with the lineups, and I love it.
I mean, I get it, because again, at this point, you're just playing out the string, seeing what works, seeing who's going to be here next season and who's not. You have a lot of roster in flux right now.
And this screen is a little bright, so I'm going to drop down the brightness. There we go. That's probably a little bit better viewing experience. All right, we've tipped off.
Zeller winning the tip.
Hornets get the tip. Terry Rozier, a little handoff to Zeller. And Zeller at the top of the key. And, oh, listen, Monk has been a big factor. So I have to tell you this, Nada. Monk has been tearing it up, and there you go, little nifty hook shot from Malik Monk for the first 2 points of the ball game.
Off the glass.
He has been averaging about 15 points a game over the past 5 or 6 games. And the Hornets were for a moment in playoff contention, Nada. But unfortunately, they've lost the last 3 games. We know how tough this schedule was going to be for the Hornets to end the season, and they've been losing close. They've been competing, but they have lost the past 3 games.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's similar to last season. They put together a little string to get in just right to that 8 seed, and then they fall off with the schedule because the schedule's too brutal at the end.
Oh, a little tie up there.
Uh-oh. You don't want to get into it with Pat Bev now. Pat Bev would throw them hands.
I don't know. Terry Rozier versus Patrick Beverley. I mean, I feel like both those guys, they know how to throw down.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things like you're just very, very careful. I don't blame anybody. Oh, Malik almost got an easy cheapie right there.
But instead, the Clippers get the run out, but Paul George missing at the rim. Good defense there to try to get back and recover, and the Hornets back on offense, up 2-0 right now. Rozier down to Zeller. Zeller again, all the way up top. Little dribble handoff to Malik. That's a good play there. Get Malik open. Jump shot, no good, though.
Wow.
Hornets still up 2-0. Defensive struggle so far.
Very defensive struggle, very reminiscent of what we've seen in the regular Hornets universe in terms of just the offense getting bogged down at times. Oh, wow. Again.
Another stop.
Yeah.
You get another stop. And, bad turnover there by Terry, dribbling a little bit too much. That's something we, in the actual Hornets universe, we have seen him really improve on. He's not over-dribbling, and that's led to a lot of his, I think, offensive success this year. He's depended more on others to get him good open looks, and his catch and shoot has been on fire.
And it's one of those things where, okay, now we got Kawhi on Leonard. Wow, Bridges forces the kick out on Kawhi. Now, giving up another offensive rebound is a typical Hornets thing, though. And we've essentially seen this kind of Hornets basketball. And I hate to borrow a line from EA Sports, but if it's in the game, it's in the game, clearly.
All right, Hornets still up 2-0. I mean, this one has been pretty ugly to start. Not much offense. You get another miss by Malik Monk. I'm not going to be able to check stats on this game because this game is in progress, and I couldn't check it if I wanted to. But that's 3 or 4 misses so far early from Malik Monk, who has taken a lot of shots. Good rebound there by PJ.
Wow. Leaving Pat Beverley open in the corner. Even that, again, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Very bold strategy.
A lot of dribbling from Terry again. He goes inside, doesn't find anything. Back out to Monk.
Monk's going to shoot this probably.
All right, I'm just going to have to keep my finger, I think, on the trigger here to make sure that we that we don't lose the brightness. This is all very experimental, by the way.
This is very experimental. This is so much fun right now.
I know, but I think it's good. I think it's gone well so far in that I think everyone hears us. They might not hear the game call very well, but I guess we are the game call. We are the game call. We should pump in some stadium sounds next time.
Exactly. Again, get the Jock Jams 95 out for the breaks. There's Hugo with the t-shirt gun.
That's right. But does Hugo do the t-shirt gun much? I feel like that's left up to maybe he does. Maybe
he does.
Okay.
He's done a lot. Again, now mind you, while you were here, he wasn't here. But this season, he's had the t-shirt gun a lot. My laptop almost got caved in by a said t-shirt.
Oh wow.
Maybe. Yes.
You got insurance on that bad boy? What's up? I mean, were you protected?
Not.
Okay.
Of course not.
Man.
Again, it's a 2011 MacBook, the same one that we're discussing. We're talking. I'm covering the game with right now. Wow. Ooh, James Borrego does not look happy right now.
Well, his offense has played very poorly so far. I mean, they've gotten, I think, one good open look from Malik Monk on that Zeller handoff, but other than that, it has really been a lot of dribbling and a lot of just one-on-one kind of game. I mean, they're going to have to get the ball moving if they want to score against this Clippers defense. Luckily, the Hornets defense has stepped up and only held them to 3 points here in the opening 3 minutes.
Again, but I'm still impressed. But the Hornets defense, as in real life, basically keeping them in the game against the big boys. It's just the offense that hasn't shown up.
Well, and I'll say this too. In the Hornets alternate universe, Nada, the Hornets right now in the last 7 or 8 games lead the league in bench points, and a lot of that has to do with virtual James Borrego shaking up the rotation, getting some other guys in there off the bench. Malik Monk again. They're trying to get him open, but he is not playing well right now. And Paul George, no transition
not.
defense from the Charlotte
No.
Hornets.
Malik leaves the run out, lets the leaker run, and then Paul George, easy 2 points. Can't give up the easy ones, especially when they're not scoring in the half court either.
So, Nana, tell me, what have you been doing to pass the time here in this land of quarantine that we live in now?
Animal Crossing. That has been one of the biggest things. Animal Crossing. The island is very, very crappy. I'm getting it together, but Animal Crossing is primarily the way. That and a lot of Amazon Prime, watching Picard on CBS Direct and enjoying that first season of Picard. That's basically been it.
How far are you into Picard?
I've finished the entire season.
Okay, I have not, so no spoilers. I still got to wrap up a couple of episodes. Where you were satisfied with the first season, though?
Oh, very, very satisfied. And Doug, I'm telling you now, bring tissue for that last episode.
Okay, I will do. And now there are going to be more seasons of Picard, I would think, right? I mean, the season.
There are.
Okay.
There are, but still, like there's a person that we say goodbye to that gets a proper goodbye. And my God, it's again, bring tissues.
Okay, we'll do. All right, let's get back to this game. Malik Monk right now is ice cold, and it shows up on the screen. They've given him the snowflake, and I think he's taken about 17 shots so far in the first quarter, if I'm being conservative in that estimate.
No, he's taken all of the shots, and you would think that they would, again, someone else would take control. I thought Terry would take a couple of shots by now, but oh no, not another. Not another.
Wow.
Malik passed the ball.
I mean, he is not passing. It is incredible right now. Morris Sr. gets inside. The transition defense for the Charlotte Hornets right now has been miserable. You can see the stat there, 1 of 9 from the field to start the game, 11%, whereas now you can see the Clippers offense finally getting into a groove here, and they've built a 9-point lead with 6:45 left as the Hornets forced to call another timeout. Virtual James Borrego cannot be happy with his virtual team's effort.
We're going to see him at some point slam a clipboard at this point, right? I mean, the Swarm Squad, and this is what it looks like, because it can't be the Honeybees. These definitely aren't the Honeybees.
These seem to be some kind of virtual children dancing. It's very creepy. It's got a little bit of a Children of the Corn element to me.
Exactly.
A little MJ move there. I like that. Oh, this is a whole MJ thing.
Yeah, this is... is this like DLC that you don't necessarily get?
Now, this is what happens when you go on the Switch. People look a little bit goofy. The graphics aren't quite as good. The brightness goes out every once in a while.
Just like that?
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. Hugo looks good, though.
Yeah, Hugo looks great. Hugo looks great. It's just I wasn't expecting the Junior Stingers to show up in a Switch and 2K at all.
So Patrick Beverley, since the All-Star game in this virtual NBA universe, has not been really a big scoring threat, not as big as he has been traditionally. They're not going to him looking for scoring, just mostly defense off the bench.
Well, again, I'm not necessarily surprised, but wow, I'm surprised that JB has not gone to his bench yet, and he's left Malik out there.
It's true. That's a good point. Starters still out there for the Charlotte Hornets, and another miss for Charlotte. They cannot get anything going offensively. Bridges, though, doing a good job on Kawhi. A little late on that contest, and Kawhi knocks down the mid-range jump shot. Knocking down a shot, something Charlotte has not been able to do this game.
Yeah, and as you see, away Kawhi's averaging 20.
Oh, my gosh. Terrible turnover by the Charlotte Hornets on the dribble handoff. Malik to Rozier. A little miscommunication. Rozier gets caught with a foot on the line. Tough.
I mean, when things get bad, they just go from bad to worse, and yet we still haven't seen anybody from the Charlotte Hornets come in yet. And this is one of those games where Borrego's going to have to wear it if they lose this one close, because they've let the Clippers go out to a 13-2 lead, and we haven't seen a new guy come in yet. And then there we go. Kawhi punishing the switch and gets it easy to.
Yeah, put back there for Leonard. I mean, good defense there by PJ to at least stop the initial threat by Leonard, but Leonard just too good. Long arms, gets up, gets the rebound. A good little
Oh.
interior screen to get Malik. Oh, Malik cannot hit anything. I swear he's got to be 1 of 10 at this point. Hornets have not scored since the very beginning of this game.
Minutes. Oh, wow.
If you're just tuning in, folks, this is the Hornets virtual universe, and they are virtually useless on the offensive end. Malik wide open. He's got to drain this.
At best.
Finally, Malik Monk
God.
breaks the seal. Hornets now down to only 12.
Now, mind you, this is the Clippers 17, Malik Monk 5. No one else has scored. Now, granted, Malik Monk has not given the ball up in shooting yet. Wow, they got a defensive rebound. Hey, they may go on a run here, Doug. They just might.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that. Borrego does have 2 subs sitting at the scorer's table right now. Oh, man, Terry Rozier just doing it on his own. Draws the foul on Montrezl Harrell. Finally getting to the line. Manufactures some offense there. And we'll finally get some subs in for the Charlotte Hornets. We'll see who they decide to sub out.
Again, I'm just glad that he went to the bucket and got a foul. And honestly, I'm even more happy that we have someone other than Malik shoot the ball right now. Because when was the last time that happened? I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, you make a good point there. I mean, the Hornets have struggled to manufacture any kind of offense right now. But Terry Rozier steps up to the line, trying to change that, get this thing back down to a 10-point lead with 4:29. And we'll finally see some fresh legs come in for the Charlotte Hornets as well. Let's see who they decide to sub in. Looks like Batum is coming in off the bench. Batum's been playing big minutes in the virtual Hornets universe. There is Billy and Biz going with the 2 kind of center lineup there. All right.
Wow, that is a risk.
But Billy has been playing well, I will say that. Last few games has been a scoring threat. And, I mean, it's been all guards so far for the Charlotte Hornets, so might as well try to get some action going down low, put some size on the floor. Cody Martin also in the game, number 11 there on the wing.
Wow, so this has been a nice little interesting. Again, I'm just wondering how the switching goes on this.
Well, good drive there by the Clippers to get inside and get another bucket in the paint. Number 1 for the Clippers. Yeah, I should pull up the Clippers numbers because I'm not as familiar with that team's number scheme.
I think that is Reggie Jackson. Billy Hernan-Gomez. Billy working the block.
Dude, I told you, virtual Hornets universe Billy is not playing around.
Billy's working the block like it's Stringer Bell or something like that right now. I am very, 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 very impressed on that one. Now,
all right, yes, you are correct. Reggie Jackson is number 1 on the Clippers.
The only question I have at this point right now is,
man, Martin crossed him up so bad it turned the lights out there for a second. Exactly. Oh, good cut there by Martin. Okay, Cody, that's pretty much the Cody we know of in the Hornets universe. I mean, making great cuts, active, full of energy, making the right play. That's Cody Martin. That's been him all season.
That's a killer back screen by Virtual Billy, though, too.
Yeah,
killer back screen. Lou Will.
Lou Will, a little too quick there for Biz. Couldn't get back over there.
Yeah.
Luis,
as soon as
Luis
got
Williams.
That step. Hey, but again, we get people other than Malik Monk shooting. It's almost like this works.
Now, do you play NBA 2K at all?
Oh, I love 2K. I just didn't play this year's version, mainly because I couldn't find it on sale just yet.
Oh, Billy gets the roll, gets the shooter's roll. Billy Hernan-Gomez. I think that's 2 buckets now for him. He's got 4 points early on.
4 points. He might, again, he's second on the team in scoring right now behind Malik Monk with 5. So, I mean, this is not a bad, again, Virtual Billy needs to real life Billy needs to take a few lessons from Virtual Billy right now.
Nick Batum trying to attack a little bit in transition, get aggressive. Oh, pull up. We've seen that shot before, but it does not go down. We've definitely seen that before. Leonard working inside. Good D. I'm telling you, Billy is a monster on both ends of the floor. Billy Hernan-Gomez, virtual Hornets universe. He cannot be stopped. He is one of the best forwards in the league right now.
This Virtual Billy needs, again, we might have to look at him in terms of 04 Vic when we talk about video game characters of being unstoppable.
Hornets just really haven't been able to knock down shots in this game, and I know that's not the greatest piece of analysis you've ever heard, but it really is just ringing true. They've had open looks, both Rozier and Monk, and just not been able to knock them down. Most of their success has been getting into the paint, second chance opportunities, and really that's, you're seeing definitely some different rotations here. You're seeing some different lineups as the Hornets, the Clippers pick up the 3-second call. So you get a free throw here. But the
3 seconds.
Yeah, the Hornets have this season, they've been a little feast or famine in terms of shooting. And when it goes really well, they can compete with any team in the league. When it doesn't, they've really struggled to find other ways to manufacture offense. And they're not a great defensive team. So that's when you've seen the Hornets get blown out, really, when that shooting is not falling.
And then the fact that they're still, quote unquote, in this game despite starting so poorly and Malik almost shooting them out of the first quarter. I mean, it's a testament to their defense and a testament to virtual Billy Hernangomez right now.
Yeah, it's a testament to this bench, which is really right now playing like, bad pass, but Batum is able to pick it up. Kawhi Leonard getting hit in the back of the head there for a second. Leonard playing big minutes so far in this first quarter. Batum and shot clock violation. Somebody wake Rick Bonnell up. He's got to tweet it out. He doesn't even know why. He just woke up in a cold sweat and has no idea why.
Virtual JB looks kind of over the Nick Batum experience. I don't know about you, but that's what it looks like to me. He looks over this experience.
I mean, he's the one. Listen, he started it. Okay, I told that. I tried to set the rotations to what they would be if we were still playing, and Virtual James Borrego said, "Forget it. We're trying to win." Now they did go on a 5-game winning streak, but got themselves into playoff contention. I mean, they were only 3 games out from that final 8th spot. And behind the Orlando Magic, but then they went on a 3-game losing streak, and now they find themselves, I believe, 5 games back again. Down to Billy on the block. Billy on the block has been money. Little turnaround, little up fake, back to Rozier in the corner. Rozier, nice little dribble to get. Don't know who was guarding him there, but to get him off his feet doesn't.
Just moving him off. Reggie Jackson. Now, mind you, does the virtual Nick Batum experience come with the home booze that comes with the real experience? That's all I need to know.
I haven't heard any boos. You do see some empty seats, though. That's probably pretty accurate.
It's very consistent. Very consistent.
Hornets struggling right now, down 13 points as we close out the first quarter. Terry Rozier back on the floor for the Charlotte Hornets. He gets it down to Billy. Billy's going to work. Billy's been working all game. Little up fake, doesn't like it. Rozier mid-range shot at the buzzer does not go down. Both Rozier and Monk struggling mightily to begin this game. I don't think Devontae Graham's injured last I checked. So I think we may see him in the second quarter unless he is injured. I don't know. We'll have to.
I don't know. This is an interesting little scenario because I would have thought that Devontae Graham would have been in to lead the charge into the second half, but apparently we were wrong.
Yeah, I didn't check the injury report, so I'm not certain that if Graham got hurt in that last game, but Graham has been starting alongside Monk, but now we're getting
Terry Rozier
and Hugo on roller skates.
Are they really?
That feels like it would be bad for the basketball floor. Like, you feel like you wouldn't want to do that. I don't know. That seems.
On roller skates.
It seems like it could damage the floor in some way. That doesn't feel like, I think it should be sneakers only. Thanks for joining us here on the Hornets Alternate Universe stream. We're streaming a game. Again, the CPU is playing. I am not playing. I'm very bad at NBA 2K. I don't want to influence this game at all. If you've been paying attention to the Locked On Hornets podcast, we have been simming the season as we go along. The Hornets would have taken on the Los Angeles Clippers tonight in Charlotte if the season were not suspended. So here we are in the middle of a Saturday afternoon watching the Hornets go after the Clippers. But really, it's been all Clippers, mostly anyway. 26-15, the lead. And the Hornets have really struggled to knock down shots in this one, both Malik Monk and Terry Rozier not shooting well. And if you're confused as to why Nick Batum is on the floor right now, why Billy is on the floor right now, why Malik Monk is starting and has attempted 17 shots in this game already, let me tell you, that is because Virtual James Borrego has ignored all of my suggestions on rotation, and he is going with rating-only suggestions. So they are trying to make the playoffs here And there's no player development in virtual James Borrego's mind. He's all about the dub.
Clearly. Wow. I mean, Kawhi, again, they've managed to hold Kawhi at least. Oh, now we see some emotion from virtual coach James Borrego. Now, mind you, the other thing about the crowd that I'm noticing, there's not enough Clippers jerseys in the crowd. I would think there would be more Clippers jerseys in the crowd right now.
And not really many jerseys in the crowd in general. Just a lot of T-shirts, a lot of just general casual wear. I feel like whenever you go to any sporting event, the most fun I have is finding the people with like a weird like Zonga, Miami Dolphins jersey at a basketball game. Like I love those people that just this like, okay, I'm going to a sport game, so I need my sport game jersey. And it doesn't matter if it has anything to do even with the sport that they're going to. I love finding people like that.
Again, my favorite was finding at least this year, was for the Denver game. There was a Carmelo Anthony really old school throwback Denver Nuggets Carmelo Anthony jersey. And I was just like, I almost sent you a picture of it too. I forgot to.
Yeah, send me any. Yeah, if you're listening right now and you follow us on @LockedOnHornets, just send us any pictures that you have maybe stored, stashed away deep into your phone of people with weird jerseys at games. I saw an Allen Iverson Nuggets jersey at a Cincinnati Reds baseball game.
Wait, what? Hold on.
I'm trying to think of the weirdest ones I've seen because I try to collect them in my mind. Yeah, one of the weirdest ones, Allen Iverson Nuggets jersey. I saw that at a Cincinnati Reds baseball game.
I'm trying to think. There was actually a Walter Erman Bobcats jersey at a Hornets game this year.
Now that's not a bad look. I love that look. The legend, the beautiful hair, Walter Herman
himself. Yeah, Fabio himself. Yeah, there was I did see
Fast Break Fabio.
There were a couple of, yeah, exactly. Fast Break Fabio. I mean, there have been a couple of interesting jerseys like that I've seen this year. I can't remember like all of them. There've been.
Oh wow, Nick Batum with the Olay defense. Lou had him on skates. Another transition bucket. I bet if you looked at the transition stats of this game, you would see the Charlotte Hornets getting blasted right now by a Clippers team that is not afraid to run.
No, they're not afraid to run, and they also know that they're just wow. That's the second defensive 3 seconds that we've seen with the Clippers in this game so far. I'm kind of surprised. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm going to check out and see what I know the Hornets have not been very good in transition this year. Not really great in transition or any kind of defense this year. But I think they've been especially bad at transition this year. I'll get some stats pulled up on that in the real world. I can't look up. Unfortunately, I can't look up any stats on the on this virtual universe without pulling away from the game.
Oh man, Paul George is back, and so is Malik Monk. We will see how many more shots he will take and miss. This may get interesting, Doug. This may get interesting. All right, Nick Batum up top, doing nothing with the ball, continuing to do nothing, very passive. Malik Monk shoots, hits a 3. Hornets only down 10, 30-20. All right, here we go. Let's see what else can happen. I mean, again, Paul George on the block to Patterson. Patterson goes up for 2. Very strong move to get up there. Hornets only down 12 after being down as much as 15.
I like this. Making a little run here.
Exactly. Nick Batum initiating the off. Nick Batum taking a 3. Nick Batum taking and making a 3, and even in virtual reality, it would have surprised me, especially even in reality, to be honest with you.
All right, let's check out these. I need the team stats for the transition. This is according to Cleaning the Glass. In transition this year, the Hornets have been, they rank 17th in points per possession allowed, 18th in frequency, so they allow a lot of transition and they allow a lot of points. Not the worst in the league, but it really has been about turnovers because off live rebounds, so they just miss a shot and the other team starts a break. That hasn't been too bad. They rank above average in preventing that transition, so getting back hasn't been an issue there, but it's really off steals where the points per possession go up to 1.7, high frequency. It's just a ton of turnovers, the Charlotte Hornets right now. And then points per play, 140.1. That's 22nd in the league. So the real Hornets have had an issue with turnovers all season, and it's really given the opposing teams opportunities to score. Still no Devontae Graham that I see. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and not much of a limb, and say that he is suffering an injury.
He's either hurt or there's some locker room drama we do not know about.
Oh yeah, let's cook. That would be great. Let's cook up some virtual Malik Monk not heading back there, not seeing what was right behind him. Thought the help was there. It was not in transition. Now we got what do we got? Monk, McDaniels, Martin, Zeller, and Bridges. I'd love to see.
This is an interesting little five.
I mean, I'd love to see more of a McDaniels Bridges look from the Hornets moving forward as McDaniels bulks up a little bit and maybe could take on some more of the power forward responsibilities.
That would be interesting because again, I think McDaniels is more of a 3 though, and that's the thing where I think he's going to end up
weight wise, yeah. But I mean, he's gonna have to put some more weight on and be able to at least hang with 4s. I mean, he would be, with his long arms and he just has a knack for the ball on defense. I really think he would be really tough to score against again if he put some weight on.
He does. As we see, Miles Bridges missing his second straight left corner 3, both contested. Normally when we see Miles Bridges take 3s from the left corner, it's usually uncontested. And then Clippers 13-5 run in the last 3-17. We've seen this before where good teams just turn up the gear just one more notch, and these Hornets can't compete offensively.
Yeah, the virtual Hornets really starting to let this one get away, but we are early in the second quarter. Malik Monk, good off-ball action there, getting to the corner. The Hornets find him open, and he drains it, gets the lead back down to 17. The Hornets.
It's a long 2.
Oh, it was a long 2. Oh, man, no, that's not good.
No, exactly. I can imagine real life JB just complaining about the long 2 right there.
Oh, George just imposing his will on Miles Bridges, unfortunately. George having a good game so far, plus 17. He's 3 of 6 from the field, 9 points. Paul George doing Paul George things. Oh, good spin move there. Ooh, Cody Martin.
Cody Martin. Oh, look at him.
What's up, buddy? Oh, a little double screen action there. Nice. Doesn't do much. Got Paul George, got the taller guy on Monk. Monk makes the right decision, gets the ball out of his hands. Bridges, can't get the ball to fall.
I thought he was going to nail that for a second.
George wide open. Drano.
Oh. Yep.
Hornets now down 22. Nada. You didn't expect to walk into this blowout, did you?
Yes, I did, actually. In fact, I did. Virtual Malik, I expected with that renewed energy. I thought he would give us something a little bit more than what he's given us so far. But
well, and I think, knowing now that we haven't seen Devontae Graham and we're fairly certain he's injured and not going to play in this game, that puts at least some of Malik Monk's shooting in that first quarter into some context. More of the scoring load was going to have to be on Malik. He wanted to try to come out. He has been hot lately. He's been scoring a lot and very efficiently. But tonight just didn't have it.
Yeah, he didn't have it. I'm just wondering what was the reason virtual JB benched Devontae. We're going to find out it was like conduct detrimental to the team. He's not even on the sidelines. You don't see him anywhere.
Yeah, okay, hold on now. We haven't confirmed whether or not he's injured or not, but he probably did get suspended from the team.
Exactly. No, I'm just wondering. Maybe he got suspended a game. Conduct detrimental. And again, if we have to create some kind of reckless speculation. That is my job, Doug. This is what I do: create virtual reckless speculation. And as we see, Charlotte 27-45, only 4 games back of Orlando, and it's a shame.
I told you. Well, I think it's a shame if you really wanted the Hornets to compete for a higher draft pick in the virtual NBA here. Oh man, just too. You can't listen if you're up against
Too much
Patrick
dribbling.
Beverly. Yeah, you can't dribble that much. Paul George in transition, it's easy. 46-22. Cody Martin getting schooled right now.
And again, you got to learn. You got to learn. And Cody Martin initiating the offense. No Terry Rozier yet, which is kind of a surprise.
He played a lot of minutes in that first quarter, so I think virtual James Borrego doing the right thing, giving Rozier a little bit of a breather in transition. Again, man, the Clippers have been pushing it as quickly as possible off these misses, and there have been a lot of misses. Paul George just devastating the Hornets right now in transition.
Did you see the shooting numbers on Malik Monk right there? 4 for 15 in the first half.
On pace for 30 shots this game, more than 30.
I know.
On pace
Malik
for 40 shots this game.
I know Malik. Oh, wow, an illegal screen by Cody Zeller, and he gets knocked down. This is really lifelike.
Oh, look at this stat. P.J. Washington up there amongst rookies in three-point percentage. Michael Porter Jr. playing well in Denver in the virtual NBA. His three-point percentage up there since the All-Star break. Michael Porter Jr. making a lot of people in Denver look very smart. Oh, steal by Martin.
Yeah, they had the chance to. They chance. Not everybody could. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of time will tell. We'll see if he can stay healthy. That's obviously the big question. But so far, he's been a weapon for them. He's been, I think he's had this season been able to continue. We don't know yet. Maybe it does continue. But he would have been, I think, a real asset for them in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Shall see.
All right, Malik Monk setting things up. We get a little off-ball screen there to set up Miles Bridges. Unfortunately, can't knock it down. Hornets have not been able to knock down shots in this game.
It's literally been the threes. If they hit a few more of these threes, they're actually competitive in this game.
And the Clippers, one of the better teams in the NBA, so this might have been expected a little bit. But, I mean, so many misses, and the Clippers have been pushing on every single one of them. Let me ask you this, Nada. If the season does not resume, if this is it for the Charlotte Hornets, they don't find a way to play any more regular season games. What are 2 or 3 takeaways from this season that you have?
That the cupboard is a lot more full than I think anyone could have expected, because you have guys like Jalen McDaniels, there's something there with him, the Martin twins. You have, again, Devontae. Even Terry Rozier's been good. Miles, PJ. You have a lot more pieces than initially thought of, and you have a lot more things that you can potentially trade, build on, what have you, to the point where next year is going to be fun. And I'm not saying playoff fun, 8-seed playoff fun. I'm saying, again, if they win 35 games next year, I think you're going to be pretty happy with the roster.
Yeah. Well, I think what will be interesting next year, Nada, is that you won't have as many veterans that you have to work into this lineup because you have them on contract, because, there are a lot of stories about how Borrego did a good job early in the season of managing this weird roster of veterans that were not going to be a part of the team's future, but still needed some early playing time before shifting full bore into the youth movement. That's not going to be an issue next year. And in fact, Devontae Graham's going to be a third year player, and Malik Monk's going to have a lot of years under his belt, and so will Bridges. And so, now you're going to be expecting a lot more out of certain players than maybe there's going to be less benefit of the doubt with certain players.
Oh yeah, because the first guy, again, we talk about Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges is going to be a third, fourth year guy. Like, at that point, all the excuses are over. You either, again, and that goes for Borrego as well too, like, you have to have places for all these guys. Are you going to be able to continue going with Bridges and Washington at their positions at 3 and 4? That is a great question that I'm not sure that he has the answer to, and I think the only person that really knows that answer, or is going to have to figure that out more than James Borrego, is Mitch Kupchak. So on top of that, you're going to have to deal with that. Then you're going to have to worry about, is Rozier, Devontae sustainable long term? And then what are we going to do? What are the Hornets necessarily going to do with a guy like Malik Monk? And I think that question probably won't be answered till later, like maybe December of next year. If again, considering if the season ends up getting canceled. But I mean, the biggest takeaway I have, and this is the thing I will always harp on, is that no matter what happened, the Hornets won this season. They won. You got three guys in the Rising Stars competition. Now, granted, Mitch wants actual All Stars, but to take that step in a year that you thought the cupboard was bare, I mean, again, the Hornets won the season no matter what happens if they never play another minute for the regular part of the season. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not certain that any player on this team is a future All-Star, and that includes the guy that just missed the layup there, PJ Washington. That includes a player you haven't seen in this game because we think either he's injured or has done something so detrimental to the team that he's not even on the floor right now. That's Devontae Graham. I'm not certain that either of those players are future All-Stars because they didn't do anything this season consistently enough that I was like, wow, this is a certainty. You know, Ja Morant, you look at Ja Morant, he did things this season for the Grizzlies where you go, there's no doubt in your mind that Ja Morant is going to be a future multi-time All-Star, probably All-Star starter, you know, for several years when all is said and done, right? You know, Devontae Graham had moments like that, but nothing that would guarantee things. And that's okay because they have plenty of years left to develop into that. I mean, you look at Kemba. It took Kemba 4 seasons before he developed the things that he needed to develop in order, and that's usually a rarity. That doesn't happen very often. You've got to see that in the first 2 or 3 seasons. But Devontae Graham still has that time. PJ Washington still has that time. But nothing on this roster right now is guaranteed, but they do have a lot of pieces. And pieces are hope. I mean, pieces could be, you know, things that you pair with all-stars that you acquire when you're ready to make your run. So I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of promise on this team, but it's not necessarily in the form of absolute, you know, LJ level all-star guarantees or Zoe or something like that.
No, I definitely agree with you. And the thing I would say is, pieces are the things you pair with lottery picks to get solid and young talent.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So, again, we talk about a Michael Porter. You can possibly pair a couple of those pieces that will push a Denver over the hump. And then you and add that lottery pick in. And then you may have something. Who knows? But at the same time, this is one of those situations where this can get interesting really fast in a summer or in an off season, because again, normally we consider summer with the off season, and that may not be the case this year.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a summer, an off season that can get really interesting with 1 or 2 trades.
Speaking of interesting, this game is not interesting right now. The Hornets are down 40 big ones as they close out the second half. Can Rozier make it 37? He cannot. Misses the shot at the last second. Hornets down 69. Nice score at halftime for the Clippers to 29. This has been a tough one. I don't know why. I don't know why Paul George is biting his nails. This is not a nail biter. Nothing going on here that would make you bite your nails.
I mean, Kawhi, at this point, they're just like, we're gonna get our stats. This is gonna be a lot of. We're gonna see a lot of Jalen McDaniels. Maybe we'll see Kobe Simmons or something like that in the second half. Who knows? This has just been one of those games where just nothing works in front of the home crowd. Now, mind you, it was a road game. I probably would feel better about the Hornets being a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is not. And the Hornets looking down the barrel of a 4th straight loss unless they can come up with 41 points, 41 more points than the Clippers in the second half. As oh man, this is making me feel nostalgic for this crew, this TNT crew that we haven't been able to watch because of this, unfortunately, this stoppage in play of the NBA. But you do have the virtual Hornets to cheer for, and we've been updating you on Locked On Hornets with everything that they've been doing. And just want to take a moment to say thank you to all the listeners out there to Locked On Hornets for sticking with us during this time. We've been providing you some content, having fun, doing the things that we love to do, even though there hasn't been any basketball to talk about. I think this show, maybe uniquely to a lot of the shows in the Locked On Network, we were equipped to deal with this stoppage in play. You get some stats here for the half. The Hornets, 27% from the field. They haven't been moving the ball. It's been a lot of one-on-one. This has not been a good offensive effort. They are missing Devontae Graham for some reason. We don't know if he's injured. We don't know if he is suspended. We don't know if he got lost in a plane flight over the Bermuda Triangle. Like, all of those possibilities on the table, folks. We don't know. All we do know is that Malik Monk has taken 89 shots in this game so far.
And he will take 89 more in the second half.
He'll need to.
Oh, exactly. Wow, we have the Swarm Squad.
There you go. There's your Swarm Squad. You were looking for them. I think that is the official Swarm Squad.
That is the official Swarm Squad. I mean, the little kids dancing at the end of the first quarter, it was kind of throwing me off. I'm sorry. It threw me off my game a little bit.
So we're back to the starting lineup. You've got Rozier. Oh, little double team on. Oh, nope. And Kawhi misses. I think they double team George there. Get the ball out of his hands. I mean, he's been super hot. At least they're doing something defensively. PJ couldn't get up quick enough. Montrezl Harrell with the foul. PJ will go to the line. Talk to me about PJ Washington. I mean, how impressive have you been with his effort on both ends of the floor this season?
I am more impressed with his offensive end than I am his defensive end. Because as good as he's been, unfortunately, he's had a tendency to get cooked, and cooked by guys that really you wouldn't consider to be elite players. I remember a Morris twin cooked him. I think when one of them was playing for the Knicks. I can't remember if it was Marcus or Markeith, but one of the Morris twins cooked him, and that got that raised an eyebrow. Offensively, he's been great, and there have been times where I think if he just hunkers down on defense, and he can be a stronger guy, because you would think for his skill set, for his body type, he'd be a better defender than he actually is.
Here's what excites me about PJ Washington. He knows what he doesn't know. And I think that's so key for a player in his first season, especially a first-round draft pick, knowing what he needs to develop into his second and third season. He was doing an interview, I believe it was on The Athletic, and he says, look, I know that I've got to add some new moves to my post repertoire in order to score against these NBA defenses. He understands what he has to go and work on when they're able to get back out on the floor at some point and get into some workouts. So that's what excites me. I mean, I don't want to pick on Malik Monk, but I feel like there was an attitude there with Malik Monk where he didn't know what he didn't know. He just thought, look, I've been playing a certain way my whole life, and I'm going to continue to play that way even though I'm struggling. And I just think it's hurt him throughout his career, whereas I feel like P.J. Washington definitely understands what he needs to do, and I'm excited to see what new moves he'll have on display for next season. Oh, nice cut there by Zeller to get inside. He picks up the bucket and the foul. Good pass there by Malik Monk as well.
It's funny because you mentioned the Malik part about, again, being arrogant enough to continue to do as he did and didn't take instruction. I think it was one of Rick Manell's articles, and Malik actually mentioned that, or at least I think either Malik mentioned it or Biz mentioned that Malik actually started to listen for the first time in a little bit and then started to realize what he didn't know. So, like you said, that maturity to know what you don't know is so key when it comes to things like this.
Right, and PJ's doing it early in his career. I mean, I think, look, people like to look at Malik Monk and say, well, he's only a certain number, a certain age. But look, you're deep into your NBA career at this point, and I think you get a certain number of chances, and then you also build a little bit of a reputation. You build a narrative around yourself. And I think PJ has built a narrative that says, hey, I can trust this player. I can start him as a rookie because I know he's going to do the things that he needs to do to get better. Whereas Malik Monk did not develop that reputation early on. And now, this situation, a lot of unknowns around this situation with Malik Monk as he gets the layup there. The Hornets trying to claw their way back into things in the third quarter, but they are down big at this point.
Minus 36. Good Lord.
Yeah, tough stuff. Tough stuff. First quarter was rough on that plus minus. Oh, Montrezl Harrell, big offensive rebound and put back dunk there. So Malik Monk, I think, this situation that he's in right now where he's sort of in purgatory, we don't know when we'll see him be able to compete again because he's in this suspension by the NBA that has no definitive end.
And it can only be cleared by a doctor, mind you.
Yeah, I think there's so many unknowns around this thing. So it's like, even if the Hornets are able to get back into action, probably I would have to assume, I don't have any information about this, but I'd have to assume that all of the difficulties that are going on right now with the coronavirus had to probably disrupt what was going on with his ability to get back on the floor.
Yeah, it's funny because with Malik, I think there are going to be a couple of steps. Obviously, clearing the doctor is going to be the hardest one because from what we've known, it's an addictive substance, and he's going to have to get a lot of treatment. Now, mind you, I know that one of the folks that is very famous in the NBA circles for handling addiction is John Lucas. So I'm hoping someone reached out to John Lucas Sr. and he's going there. He's handling his business. But I know I said earlier, maybe we hear from him in December if there's no season. I might have to push that back and say, hey, maybe you finally hear something, maybe at the All-Star break of next year.
Oh wow!
Maybe, and
you think that long?
I think that long because I think when we start talking about doctors having to clear stuff, that's when things get hinky. It's not necessarily the NBA that's going to be the one to rush him back, or the franchise is going to be the one to either rush or hinder him back.
Right.
This is going to be an independent doctor that says, hey, this guy is clear of whatever this has to be right now. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, well, I think anyone that is kind of following this story just has to essentially be prepared for anything at this point, I think, and any length of time, because we don't know the answer to it. And it's really unfortunate. Did you agree with, I don't know if you saw this on The Athletic, Rod Boone giving Malik Monk an F for the season?
I saw it and I thought it was unfair.
I think it's F for unfair.
Yeah, I think it was unfair to him. I think, again, granted, there were only short stretches, but for a while, he showed you what he needed to do to grow. Now, granted, like you said, there's only
nice. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but nice move there by Rozier, just taking down his
up and under.
Yeah, taking down his defender, and then with the up and under in the finish, the bench unit has come on and given this team a few extra points.
No, but back to, I think for what Malik did, Malik was also, like, for what Malik was going to be, or for what the developmental steps that he had taken, I think he had done enough to at least deserve a C-. He deserved enough to pass.
Oh, and another big play there by Rozier. A little wraparound pass, draws the defense, and then delivers a perfect wraparound pass to P.J. Washington for the Jamski. Now, they can't stop this team at all. Patrick Beverley getting by Malik Monk pretty easily there on the baseline cut, and gets the layup there. 5 of 6 for Patrick Beverley. No stopping this guy right now. 10, 8, and 4 on the game.
Malik Monk playing the role of the mark on defense. Again, the Clippers are playing spot the mark, and they're picking on the mark, and the mark just happens to be Malik Monk right now.
Bridges gets by Kawhi, but then Montrezl Harrell, good help defense. I think that's, you see it there in the Hornets virtual universe, Malik Monk not being able to finish around the rim if he gets a little contact. I think it's been a little problem in the actual Hornets universe as well. I think that Bridges, you'll see him be a little hesitant to go inside, and he pulls up and takes some odd shots sometimes, and I think it's partly because I just haven't seen him be able to finish through contact very well this season.
Now, it's one of those things that I do worry about when it comes to a guy like Miles Bridges too, because you would think a guy like that, a guy built like that, would be built to finish through contact better than he actually does. But that's something that's the difference between him and a guy like PJ Washington, where PJ doesn't necessarily have the ups, but can finish through contact better, and where Miles is a little bit more polished on the outside perimeter game, and his desire to be that 3 instead of being that small forward, instead of being the 4, because as we both know, I think, or I'd like to say, as everybody knows, his best position is the 4 right now. And I'm not so sure that Miles believes that. I think Miles is the only one that doesn't believe that his best position is the 4 anymore. So I don't think he thinks he has to finish that contact as well.
Turnaround jumper there for Rozier cuts the lead to 44. The Hornets right now getting a little bit more offense going in this third.
64%.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit more offense going in this third quarter. A lot of that in transition and moving the basketball. But then you saw a Rozier turnover earlier when over dribbling. I mean, that's been an issue all game. A lot of one-on-one offense that, listen, you can't do it against the Clippers. They're just going to pick your pocket. You got Beverly, you got Leonard, you got George. I mean, they're all able to take the ball away from you. So it's not going to work. And there again, bad pass, defense forcing the issue. Easy dunk for the Clippers.
Easy transition. And they're going to score at least 120. At least. And it's almost a shame.
Well, luckily, this is the virtual Hornets universe and not the actual Hornets universe. Oh, Mug needs some Gatorade. I don't know what virtual James Borrego's doing. He hasn't called a timeout. I'll say that. He's just letting the Hornets in this third quarter just get blitzed.
I see that James Borrego's on the Roy Williams plan right now.
Oh, man, you just reminded me. We also don't have NCAA basketball as well. Oh, there we go. Now we are officially at a 50-point lead for the Los Angeles Clippers. If you've tuned into this one, you've tuned in for what could be an historic loss for the Charlotte Hornets. I'm going to look up what their all-time worst losses are.
I would be surprised if it doesn't involve the 2011-2012 season. I would be surprised if it doesn't.
Here's the largest margins of victory. Now, I don't know if they've updated this page because I'm only seeing, I see a 2019 game. So maybe I don't know if they've updated it this season, but landofbasketball.com has the largest margins of victory in NBA history. The largest is 68 points, Cleveland Cavaliers against the Miami Heat in December 17th, 91. 65-point victory for the Indiana Pacers over the Portland Trailblazers in 1998. And then 63 points, the Los Angeles Lakers over the Golden State Warriors, 162-99 in 1972. My goodness. So now the Hornets are down 48. If it were to be a 50-point, you'd have to go, that's pretty far down the list. A lot of teams have lost by 50, including the Charlotte Hornets in the year 2000. So this would have been the 99-2000 season, last season for Eddie Jones. The Milwaukee Bucks beat the Charlotte Hornets 137-87. That looks like their last 50-point defeat.
Because I know that it's either though, I forget, it was that, I want to say that first Hornet season, wasn't there that 50-point win in Spectrum against Memphis, I want to say. There was that game, if I remember right.
Let's see if I can find. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the Charlotte. So that was their worst defeat. Now, the Charlotte Hornets did beat the 76ers by 52 in 1992. They beat the Sixers 136-84. So they have a 50-plus point win.
I know they got a 40-plus point one from the Memphis. I think it's either 40 or 50. Because I think it was, I can't remember. I know it was relatively recent, like last 2 years or so.
Yeah, this one stops at 49 points. 49-point victories. The last ones I see here on this list. So the Hornets, the virtual Hornets, working on the worst loss in franchise history, which would be if it's 50. So if it's 51, right? What was that? What did I say that loss was?
Yeah, it's 50. You said it was 50, I think.
They lost to the Bucks.
Yeah, Bucks. This is Cody Martin.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, you're right. I missed it. So the biggest defeat is a 61. Or excuse me, the biggest win. The Hornets beat the Memphis Grizzlies in 2018 by 61, 140-79. So you are shorting them 20-ish points.
Yeah, I know. Again, I remember that game because I just remember laughing the entire time.
Man, 140-79. My goodness. Batum for three, no good. And the percentages are not going to be good for really anyone after this game is over.
No, no, not anyone. This is one of those you just
Except for Billy. I
burn.
think Billy probably is all right. Oh, Reggie Jackson putting it in. All right, so the lead stands at 49. Now we're just looking, can the virtual Hornets avoid virtually the worst defeat in franchise history?
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully, like, the not being the worst. Like, literally, they're competing with the Memphis Grizzlies as the worst loss in Spectrum right now. They're competing with that. They may get it, they may not. We'll see.
I want to look up. I mean, they've had some blowouts this season, but nothing. Oh, Jalen McDaniels getting a technical free throw here to cut the lead to 48.
All the people on there, they chose Jalen McDaniels, huh? That is a heat check if I've never seen one. That's a coaching heat check. That is an absolute coaching heat check if I've ever seen one.
I'm telling you, yeah, sending McDaniels to the line there. I'm telling you, Virtual James Borrego doesn't give a damn.
Yo, Joe Chile is in now?
Finally, let's get Joe Chile in the game.
Wow.
I love that they even made him as a player.
Joe
straight out of Greensboro. Biombo. Oh, Biombo with the put back special.
Wow. And again, this game is nothing but Borrego like coaching heat checks. We're gonna play Biz and Billy together. We're gonna put Joe Chile out there. We're not gonna play we're gonna play this game with one hand tied behind our backs because Devontae Graham isn't gonna play.
Okay, so they lost to Toronto 132-96 back on November 18th. So that would have been 96-106. 40.
That was early,
that was a 36-point loss. Doing some quick math in the old head. All right, end of 3. The Hornets down big, 45 points. They are down 100-55 as we go into the final frame. It has been all Los Angeles Clippers. That guy right there, Paul George, big part of it. Kawhi Leonard. He's been amazing. It's been a lot of it in transition. The Hornets missing a lot of shots right now. They'll try to make up some ground in the fourth quarter.
Hey, a Malik Monk miss.
I think that was the biggest blowout, the game against Toronto this season. They lost big to Denver, 86-100.
Yeah. The Denver game was like, if I'm going through the Rolodex, what was the Laker game score? Because the Laker game wasn't close, was it?
That final, you mean early in the season?
Early in the season. Yeah.
That was a 19-point loss, 120-101. I think that, I'm pretty sure that Toronto loss is going to be your biggest margin of the season.
We got a Dwayne Bacon sighting, guys. We have a Dwayne Bacon sighting. Again, hide your mid-range. Hide your mid-range shots and your close-range shots.
Okay, they lost. Oh, yeah, that's right. They had 2 straight losses. Okay, the Indiana game on February 25th, they lost that one 80-119.
Oh, that's right. There is that one. I forgot about that.
So that was almost a 40-point loss. And then that was, that Brooklyn loss and then the Indiana loss back-to-back. That was a dark part of the season before they started to rebound a little bit and get a couple of victories and close losses.
Exactly, and the Houston win is still their best win of the season.
I like that. I like that Doc Rivers has not called off the dogs quite yet. I mean, he's got Shamet in there, but I mean, they've still got some big boys in there. Lou's still in there. I mean, he's going for the kill. Clippers don't care.
Yeah, the Clippers really don't care. And now we're seeing some emotion from virtual James.
All right, here we go. Who's the substitution? Okay. Now they're getting some. Yeah. Now they're calling off the dogs a little bit. But Lou right here.
About Lou.
Yep. Got to protect Lou, Captain Lou. I mean, he's going to be key to your playoff run.
You would think so.
Lou knocks it down, and the Clippers up 50 again. The largest defeat in Charlotte Hornets history coming at the hands of the Milwaukee Bucks in the year of 1992. Right?
Oh, 1992? Okay.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah. I thought it was 99, but I thought it was 1990.
You're right. It was actually the year two. It was the year 2000. It was right after Y2K. We'll blame it on Y2K. Good. Milwaukee Bucks beat the Charlotte Hornets 137-87. wonder if I can get a. Let's see if I can get a basketball reference box score on that game, just for giggles. I can get a Land of Basketball box score. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, another easy basket, and the lead is back to 50. All right, so in that game, your starters were David Wesley, Eldon Campbell, Ricky Davis, Anthony Mason, and Derek Coleman. Wow. Your bench was Brad Miller, Bobby Fills, Eddie Robinson, Todd Fuller. You remember Todd Fuller?
Oh, I do remember Todd Fuller, but I also used to get him as I used to just mistake him for Todd McCullough all the time.
No, that's an easy mistake to make. Mixing up the Todds.
Yes.
Baron Davis got 21 minutes in this game, 1 of 4 from the field, 2 points, and then Michael Hawkins at the end of the bench. But Wesley had 23 points on 5 of 10 from 3 for David Wesley in this game.
Wow.
But it was all Milwaukee. Ray Allen, Sam Cassell combined for 42 points.
What did the big dog do that day?
The big dog was 5 of 16, kind of a rough game, 13
Really?
points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. This would, of course, be a little bit of a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals that we just got done doing a rewatch of. But you didn't have Baron Davis quite where he was. He was a year away from really coming on. Derek Coleman was playing 12 minutes in this game. Mason, of course, still with the team, still playing, 6 points. Wasn't really a factor in this game. I think maybe that was a big deal. Brad Miller was 3 of 11 in this one for the Hornets.
Really? Brad Miller?
The Brad Miller.
Brad Miller, it's funny to think, Brad Miller ended up being,
Whoa, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Bismack Biyombo just backed someone down and then did a turnaround jump shot from about,
we've seen him do that.
From about 19 feet.
We've seen him do this in real life, though.
Okay. That's not a good shot. Hey,
no, it's not.
You know who was at the end of the Milwaukee Bucks bench in this huge blowout loss for the Charlotte Hornets?
Who, skipped to my Lou Ray Ralston?
No. Robert Tractor Trailer got 12 minutes in this game against the Hornets.
The guy that they traded for Dirk, yeah.
And someone named Haywood Workman.
Oh, you mean future NBA ref Hayward Workman?
I didn't know that. That's some good trivia.
No, he's a ref now because he's always, again, he does a whole bunch. He's a former player that refs now.
So, interesting. Jalen Nice getting down there, getting fouled. Good work there.
I don't think they're going to get the record. I don't think the Clippers are going to get the record.
No, Charlotte's play tough here. They said, no, you're not. No historic blowouts. Virtual James Borrego still got the beard. He's played this one tough. Yeah, I don't think. I think they're going to keep this one. I'm not going to call it respectable.
No, there's nothing respectable about a 40-point loss. Nothing, ever.
So what are your plans, Nada, for the rest of this quarantine? What do you got coming up? What do you want to watch? Have you watched Tiger King? Do you have any plans to watch Tiger King?
I have not. I am watching Tiger King at some point this week. I'm trying to space out all the content because who knows, there's only so much you can do.
And listen, here's the thing. Everything's going to be delayed. And so, the things that you want to come out a little later might come out a little later. So we haven't even hit the full lull yet. I mean, the lull is really going to be when we all get back to normal. And,
exactly, in summer.
Yeah, and things still don't come out when you want them to.
So I'm trying to, hold off on Tiger King. I'm trying to hold off on getting to Bosch. The only thing is, I'm just trying to make sure that I get to May unscathed because that.
Oh, Joe.
Time,
Smoking Joe with the crossover dribble into the spin move, the turnaround jump shot, no good. But misses for.
Wait! Doc putting out Paul George like it's not.
Biyombo, almost getting it right now. Hornets down 49, trying to avoid the worst loss in franchise history.
Look, Doc's still got Paul George and Lou out there. This might be a wrap.
The margin sits at 51. That would be a record, folks. The worst defeat in France. If you're cheering for anything right now, you're cheering for
Cheer
the
for
Hornets.
the record.
No. You cheer for the Hornets not to take the worst loss in franchise history.
It's all virtual.
Man. It's not looking good. It's 50. The margin sits at 53 right now. Joe Cheely, ice cold as Malik Monk was early in this game when he had taken 15 shots in about 14 minutes.
Joe Cheely acting like he's on a 10-day, even in the virtual world. Some things just translate over.
Caleb Martin getting some action now. Biombo, really the only veteran presence on the floor. You got Cheely, you got Caleb Martin, you got McDaniels, you've got Dwayne Bacon doing their best to try to avoid the worst loss in franchise history.
Cheer for the record, folks. Cheer for the record. At least you get to say you saw history with us.
No, you want to see good history. You want to see Kemba Walker breaking the franchise scoring record. You want to see the Hornets do good things. You want to see them avoid this historic loss.
Well, they're not because
again, deep three, no good. Hornets battling right now, trying to avoid history. Joe Cheely backing them down 1-on-1.
Cheely's going to take so many shots again.
Oh, down to Bacon, a little backing down Shamit, Bacon, little drop step. Oh, no good.
I think this is going to be a very interesting little.
Lou is working hard. And, I mean, listen, Paul George, Lou Williams, all on the floor right now. Doc Rivers just going for the throat. No concern about his players getting injured before the playoffs. This is ridiculous.
Look, I'm sorry. At this point, if Paul George is going up, one of these young Hornets need to give a hard foul. Just administer a hard foul.
I mean, if you're going to take a historic loss, this is the perfect chemical formula for it. A team that is not letting up, not putting their team to bed. And virtual James Borrego threw the white flag at the very beginning of the fourth quarter.
Exactly. Not even Nick Batum is out there.
Lou Williams, another bucket. My God, 119-64. The Hornets not in great shape here. Working on 55 now. Just remind you, the worst loss in NBA history is 68. We're definitely not out of that range if they can't hit some buckets. Bacon, trying to work through a double team, shoots over the double team. That's way off. I mean, they're not moving the ball at all. Another Shamit by Caleb Martin. Good God, this is a massacre, folks. Avert your eyes. I know you're already inside, but try to get insider. Like go to another room.
Make sure you're seated. Just make sure you're seated for all of this.
Joe Cheely, Lou Williams blocks Joe Cheely down low. This is a mess. Shamit down to George. George with the dunk. It now sits at 59, folks. You'd have to look at the Milwaukee Bucks taking down the Detroit Pistons 143-84 to get a worse loss at this point.
Root for the record.
3:27 left on the clock right now. The Hornets down 50. I did not expect this, folks. I just want to tell you, in the Hornets alternate universe, they've actually been playing really well. Even when they lose to to good teams, they've been losing closely.
Wow.
Oh, McDaniels there, a little Euro step under the basket.
That was nice. That was a nice
man,
job
Caleb
by
Martin
McDaniels,
is a
right?
sieve. Shamit has just gotten by Caleb Martin at will. And the margin back to 59.
You got Shamit doing pull-ups on the rim.
Oh, nice move by Cheely, though, to freeze the defense. He gets fouled by Lou Williams. He'll go to the line to try to... I think we're definitely heading for historic Hornets loss. The question now is, are we headed for historic NBA loss? The largest margin of victory, that goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers all the way back in 1992, beating the Miami Heat 148-80. That was a 68-point margin. Right now it sits at 59.
We're close. We're about 9 away. We're about about a virtual Caleb Martin losing his man for 3 straight possessions away from this house.
Well, we mentioned the 61-point victory last year, 2 years ago against the Memphis Grizzlies, 140-79. So the Hornets they could, after this game, own the 5th best win and the 4th best loss, or 5th best loss if it's 61. They'll be tied for 5th.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty amazing.
That would be pretty amazing. And again, Doc is now getting Joakim Noah.
Oh, Joakim Noah signing. What's up, dude? I love those Chicago teams back in the day. Noah, Ding, Rose,
They were
Carlos.
like watching paint dry, but they were fun to watch.
Oh, man, they were a good
They were
NBA 2K team, though. I used to kill with that Boozer team because Boozer's turnaround jumper was nasty. You get them down, it didn't matter. Left block, right block, you get them just right outside the paint, and that turnaround jumper was nasty.
Very, very nasty. Speaking of nasty, the record is still in jeopardy, folks. Still in jeopardy. Dwayne Bacon dribbling in traffic.
All right, wow. Margin down to 58, a little over 2 minutes to play. Clippers up 127 to 69. Very nice score by the Charlotte Hornets right now.
Very nice score right now. But mind you, this is
the little switch there. That was a good switch there by Caleb and Biz. Now Biz on Shamit. Shamit, can he take advantage? He's on fire right now.
Ooh.
Oh, man. Bacon completely loses Paul George on the cut. George easy dunk. I mean, I think George has to be working on 40 or 50 in this game. We'll look at the stats briefly after this game. I'm pretty sure George has 40 or 50. Biombo needs some Gatorade bad. He's taking turnaround jump shots. Handoff to Bacon. Down 60 at this point. Gets a pick. Doesn't really do much with it. I'm not understanding what Dwayne Bacon's strategy here is. McDaniel's caught in the corner. Shot clock going down on him. Oh.
Get the tweet ready. Oh. I was about to say, get the Rick Bonnell tweet ready.
Yeah, it was almost a shot clock. Lou needs some Gatorade too. I'm telling you, George needs some Gatorade. What is Doc Rivers doing? Doc Rivers wants the record. I just think he just wants one of the best wins of all time for this Clippers team. They are now up 63.
36.
What's 60? We're at 63 now, right? Yeah.
62.
62, excuse me.
62.
So this would be the fourth worst defeat of all time. Time winding down for the Hornets to try
again,
miss
we're not
by
history,
Chile.
We're going to get something close.
Paul George, still not out of the game. Probably working on 50. I'm telling you, I think he's got a 50 burger, if I had to guess.
He's got 4. He's got
I'll spit and foul.
36.
Here we go. 64 would put this at the fourth worst defeat in NBA history and the worst defeat in franchise history. We're setting record here, folks, on the Hornets virtual universe. It wasn't exciting for a while, and then all of a sudden it got exciting for all the wrong reasons. The Hornets, listen, I mean, what are you going to do? They called off the dogs. They did look, virtual James Borrego did the right thing. It's Doc Rivers who is being kind of ridiculous right now, leaving Lou Williams and Paul George out there with Joakim Noah and Shaman. I mean, good on him for protecting Kawhi, but I'm not sure why George is still out there other than just to rack up points.
Playoff, again, it's a march for the playoffs. They are marching to get there.
Yeah, it's March. That's a point. It's March. I mean, rest them.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time, this is one of those scenarios where again, Doc just wanted to prove a point. Point proven.
I like the Biombo triple threat step there.
Exactly.
Oh, Bacon. Good defense by the Clippers. Bacon misses. They look, if they could hold it here. Looks like I don't know that they will. I mean, this game, you never know. Looks like they're just going to hold it. And the Hornets will not foul. The margin will remain at 64.
64.
The third worst defeat in NBA history. The Hornets lose 133 to 69. My goodness. What a game for our first game in the Hornets alternate universe to call, Nada.
This is the wildest game I've seen in quite a while.
And they ended with 69 points.
Exactly. This is such Mystery Science Theater 3K.
I love it. What do you have to say, Paul George? You played a game.
$38, 8-3.
I can't believe that he only keep knocking down shots. Yeah, I bet. I can't believe he only had 38, to be perfectly honest. I was certain that he was working on a 50 burger. Only 38 points.
You could tell, again, it was just, they were basically they were playing spot the mark the entire time. And it was fun.
All right, I'm going to pull over here so I can get these stats worked up once we get a box score here. All right, let's check out the box score for this game. So one of the downsides of doing this is that we weren't able to look at stats along the way. But Malik Monk finishes as your high scorer, but damn it, he did it on volume. 21 shots, 7 of 21 from the field, 3 of 11 from
minus
three.
47.
Minus 47. That's pretty bad. I mean, listen, in a game like this, when you lose by 60 plus, everybody's going to have a bad plus minus. But he outdid himself. Minus 47.
No, you have to try. You have to try to do 47.
You have to not
minus 47.
You have to not try. All right, we'll circle on down here. Rozier finishes the game with 12 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Missed all 4 of his 3-point attempts. He was a minus 29. 3 turnovers. I mean, Martin, Rozier, and Monk, big turnover game. 6, 8 turnovers total for them. Not many assists in this game. They were not moving the basketball. Dwayne Bacon, who played most of the fourth quarter, is up there and scoring 6 points. I mean, that's
minus 19 in 13 minutes.
Look, I mean, PJ, only 2 field goal attempts, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Hernan Gomez, 4 points, 2 rebounds on only 3 attempts. I mean, so much of it was Malik Monk. Joe Cheeley, 1 of 10. My goodness. Miles Bridges, 1 of 8. Nick Batum, 1 of 5. I mean, just a massacre. Let's send it over to the Clippers on the other hand. And scroll back up to the top. And we've got Paul George at 38, Kawhi at 25, Lou at 15, Reggie at 15, Marcus Morris at 11, Pat Bev at 10. And look at those field goal percentages, folks. 16 of 20, 11 of 20.
Look at the plus minus on Paul George. Look at it.
62, a plus minus of 62. I'm not going to look that up, but I'm going to say that that's probably one of the greatest plus minuses in the history of the NBA. 6 dunks for Paul George. He was getting it often and getting it easy.
This is a massacre. This was, I don't even want to call it a curb stomping because that seems mild compared to what this was.
Let's see if I can navigate to just the team stats. Yeah, let's just for giggles, let's look at this team comparison. Hornets shooting 33% from the field. The Clippers, on the other hand, 67% from the field. They do fast break points on here. It doesn't look 52. Like they do. Oh, 52. Yeah, there it is. Oh, my God. 52 fast break points to 4 for the Charlotte Hornets. 102. 102 points in the paint. My God. That's incredible. What we have seen here, folks, has been historic.
And offensive domination.
I mean, unlike we have seen it since the 90s. So just to recap, that loss was the worst since 1998 when the Indiana Pacers beat the Portland Trailblazers 124-59. So at least the Hornets scored 10 more points than that Portland Trailblazers team did in 98. But not too many more, only 10. Incredible. And the crazy thing is, look at that time of possession. The Hornets had the ball for 11 more minutes than the Clippers because the Clippers were just running as fast as they could and scoring as many as they could. Incredible.
And legitimately, the craziest part is the only thing that the Hornets legitimately won was the free throw battle in terms of getting to the line.
Well,
that was it.
There you go. You got to take something away, and we'll take that away. Thank you so much for joining us here on Patreon for this live broadcast of the Hornets Alternate Universe. I'm sorry we could not give you a better game, but them's the breaks, as they say. Let's try to do this again next weekend. This was fun. We've been doing the live rewatches on Friday. I'd love to do this again next weekend. Nada, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fun to get your takes on the season. What are you working on? Are you working on anything? Can we expect to see something soon from you?
You can actually expect to hear something soon. Queen City Podcast Network. I am doing the Newsmakers podcast twice a week, and should be in your inbox feeds probably Monday and Wednesday mornings this week.
Perfect. All right. For Nada, I'm Doug, and Walker, my co-host. We are going to be back in action on Monday. We'll talk to Rick on Tuesday. I hope to get Chase Whitney from At the Hive back on Wednesday for a little Whitney Wednesday. That was fun last week. We'll try to get him back on again. So make sure to subscribe to the podcast, Locked On Hornets, on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Locked On Hornets. Until then, go Hornets, go America, let's swarm.